Hello, folks, and welcome back. On this episode, we're going to do an updated refrigerator operation for the Dometic 4 cubic foot refrigerator that's installed in our Casita travel trailer. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. This is going to be the control panel on the Dometic 4 cubic foot refrigerator. And the first thing you notice here is this plastic piece that I've got over mine. I noticed when we first got the trailer that these buttons stick out and they were easy to bump it and actually turn the refrigerator off and not even know it. So I bought this plastic piece, and I'll put a link in the description where I got it from, and it covers the buttons and is a lot safer to operate the refrigerator this way. Now that little red light you see flashing there, that's actually off the camera, so just ignore it. It's not part of the refrigerator. Now let's go through the individual buttons here. Over on the left is going to be your power on and off. In the middle is going to be DC or AC. And then the one on the right is going to be either gas or auto. In the middle is going to be a check light. And over on the right is going to be your coldness level and the button where you select how cold you want the refrigerator to be. All right, let's go ahead and talk about what each button does. On, off, pretty much what it says. You press it, the entire refrigerator comes on, goes through a check first to show you all the lights are working, and then ours is set up to come up automatically in AC and auto. Now, to go to DC, you just press the AC-DC switch, and it switches right over to DC, and that is the only way to get to DC. Now, in the auto mode with AC on, if we lose AC power, it's going to automatically switch over to gas. And this is good when you're plugged up in a campground and your refrigerator's running off the pedestal and you happen to be gone. If you lose power, it's going to automatically switch over to gas. And as soon as power comes back, it's going to switch right back to AC, which is a nice safety feature to have on your refrigerator. Now, to get over to gas, there's only one way to do it, and that is to actually press the auto button, gas button, so it goes over to gas manually. Now, once you're in gas manually here, it will stay there forever. It will not come out of gas unless you change that button. Now, the center light here, that check light, what that's going to do is if the burner does not light off on gas, it will turn that check light on. And that means that for some reason, the gas burner didn't light. Either one, you're out of gas, you have the gas turned off at the tank, or you've got a problem. If you check the gas at the tank, you turn it on, or you fill your tanks, then all you got to do is turn the refrigerator on and off and try it again, and it should light the burner and that check light goes off. If that check light still doesn't go off, then you have a problem with the refrigerator, and you need to either troubleshoot it yourself or contact a technician to try to fix your refrigerator. Now, this is, like I said, is going to be normal operation when you're camping. Your trailer's not being towed. You're going to be in AC and you're going to be in auto. That way, if you're at a campground where you've got AC power, your refrigerator's going to work on AC. And if you're at a campground, it loses power, it's going to automatically switch over to gas and then come right back up onto AC when it comes back. Or if you're boondocking, your refrigerator's going to run on gas, which is the best way to do it when you're camping, boondocking with no facilities. If you run this thing on DC while you're boondocking, it will kill your batteries. Now let's talk about driving down the road towing your trailer. How do you run your refrigerator? This is a very controversial issue. Yes, it is legal to drive down the road with your gas on to your refrigerator, cooling it. The only exceptions to that is you have to turn your refrigerator off before you pull into a gas station and fuel up. And there's a lot of tunnels that you're not allowed to run your gas. It has to be off when you go through the tunnel. Most places, it is legal. I would highly advise you check your local laws to make sure that you can drive down the road that way. Now, I have in the past drove with the gas on to cool my refrigerator. I recently went through the National RV Training Academy's classes, and they brought out some really good points. So now I travel down the road with it in DC mode. This way is the safest way you can travel down the road. As far as your battery, if you've got your 7-pin hooked up to your car, it should be helping to supply power to your refrigerator. You still need to monitor your battery to make sure you're not draining it down too far. If you have a lead acid, you don't want to go below 50%. And if you have a lithium, you obviously don't want to drain it all the way down. And you want to have battery when you get to where you're going. The hotter it is outside, the more this refrigerator is going to run on DC, and the more it's going to pull DC power. The main reason I don't want to run on gas anymore while I'm driving down the road is it is an open flame, and I'll show you in a minute on the outside of the trailer where the actual burner is. And as you're driving down the road at 60, 70 miles per hour, there's a lot of wind blowing past that gas burner, and it's an open flame. I just don't want to take the chances, so I'm going to stick to DC. If I'm on a really, really long trip and it's hot and I'm concerned about draining my battery too much, then I'll stop somewhere and take a break for 30 minutes to 40 minutes, eat lunch, whatever the case may be, and I'll put it on gas while I'm stopped. And then as soon as I get back on the road, I'll put it right back on DC. All right, let's go outside and look at the components on the outside for your refrigerator. You got the top vent and the bottom vent here for your refrigerator. We'll go ahead and take the top vent off first, show you what's in here, what you need to check in here. Easy way to do it is you just turn these little black locks and you just pull them out. Now be careful, and you'll see when I pull out that last one there, the whole panel is going to pop off. And the things that you're going to look in here is just make sure that there's all clean, that these cooling fins at the top are clean. There's nothing obstructing them. The newer Casitas have this little diverter, that white piece you see down there, and you want to make sure that it's, everything's good. There's no cracks. There's no anything. All right, we'll go ahead and put the top cover back on, and we'll go to the bottom. And the way you do that, it's just the opposite of what you did before, is just put everything in, push those black pins in, and then turn them 90 degrees, and it locks it in there. The bottom comes off pretty much the same way, except down on the bottom, you may or may not have this drain right here in the middle. All the Casitas, they just went out the bottom. If you do have the drain there, just be careful when you pull the panel out, because it'll pull the tube off of that drain and you'll have to put it back on. And this is what the tube looks like for the drain for the refrigerator. Now inside here is all the components that make your refrigerator work, basically. Over on this side, you can have an AC plug, and that AC plug does like to come loose when you're driving down the road. Over here on the right, this is your heater. There's your AC and your DC elements up here. And down at the bottom, this is where your gas burner is, and that's an open flame. Over here on the left is going to be your control board that controls the entire refrigerator operation. And you want to just look in here, make sure that everything looks clean, everything's tight, nothing's loose. You're also going to look for a yellow liquid or yellow film down here. If you see a yellow film or a yellow liquid down here anywhere, you have major problems with your refrigerator and you need to have it repaired. All right, let's go ahead and go back inside and let's talk about the actual inside of the refrigerator here and some unique things about it. And as we open up the door here, you'll see the 3 shelves that are mounted on the door. Now, the problem with these shelves is as you bounce up and down the road towing your trailer, they like to bounce up and down too, and they like to break over in these corners. Now, what I figured out is I can take a piece of VHP tape and put it underneath that portion right there and actually glue these shelves down to the door so that they don't bounce up and down, and that's helped me from having to replace a lot of these doors. They also like to break down here. So anything you can do to keep these shelves from bouncing up and down will help you increase the longevity of these shelves. And trust me, they get expensive over time. Now on the inside at the bottom of your refrigerator, you should have a little guideline here of how to operate your refrigerator and how to turn it on and off. It's little basics. And then over here on the right side, you should have a data plate, which lists your serial number and your model number. If you ever have to order parts, these are the numbers that you're going to have to be able to order the parts for your refrigerator. Now you'll see that you have two shelves here, one at the top and one at the bottom, and then you have a freezer at the top. It's not a big freezer, but we've gotten quite a bit in there. Also, you'll notice that we added these fans to the inside of ours, and there is a video on our website how to do that. And the reason we did that is because the refrigerator acts off of, without the fan, it's just normal convection. Those metal fins at the top are what provide the cooling. So what happens is things up here at the top are usually a lot colder than things on the bottom. Now we added those fans. They work great. And I've put thermometers in here on several trips, and the temperature's even in the top and the bottom. So we would highly recommend the fan in your refrigerator. Also, on this bottom shelf, you notice ours is turned upside down. And the reason I did that is I could take the opening there for putting tall bottles and stuff and set them back here, and the front of the shelf keeps them from falling out. When they did it from the factory, the hole was on the front. So if you open the door after you're bouncing down the road, things would fall out into the floor. Trust me, that happened several times. So just flip your shelf over, turn it around backwards, and it works great. We are definitely happy we did that. Well, that completes our operation and checks of our refrigerator. We hope this helps you out. If you have any questions, feel free to drop us a line and we'll try to answer them. We want to tell you we appreciate you watching, and thank you very much for your support, and we'll see you in the campground.